Wakey, wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stay Out of You, the podcast where I keep Tom up way too late so that we can watch Kingdom. Tom, how you doing?
I'm great. Yeah,
I'm good.
fine.
I'm glad.
Not
That's
really.
good. Not really. Well, it's fine. It's fine. We're alive.
Okay, so the problem isn't really the time. It's that so I got off duty this morning and came home and piddled around on my computer for a little bit, and then I started to get hungry, so I went into the bedroom and woke Anna up because it was already 11:30 and she hadn't gotten up yet.
Okay.
And I was like, asked her if she was hungry. And she got up and we decided to plop down on the couch and binge the entirety of season 3 of The Boyz, which we've been putting off for a little while now. So I've been sitting watching shit all fucking day. And then I'm like, oh man, it's 9 or whatever. And I just was going to come up here and, just mess around for a little bit and then go to bed, which I think was Anna's plan as well. And then I looked at the time and I don't know what made me think of it, but then all of a sudden I was just like, oh, fuck, we're recording tonight.
Yeah, we took the kids over to their grandparents' house to swim in the pool. And we were actually late getting there. Like, it was like 5 o'clock when we arrived, but it actually turned out to be okay because it was still about 105 degrees out when we got there. So it was nice. The pool was really warm. It was good. It was a good way to cool off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they had a great time, and the kids passed out on the way home, so we were just able to like tuck them in and then get going. Had everything rolling to watch Kingdom. So I guess the Boyz, the TV show, was not the only The Boyz you got to see tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I did get to see some Boyz.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, should we go into the performances we saw tonight? We saw 3.
Yeah.
We saw SF9.
Yeah.
We saw The Boyz, and we saw Ikon.
Yeah.
So, there's some interesting performances. They had to swap songs, and we watched them like do the selection process.
Well, actually, hold on. Before we jump into that, should we review because they didn't announce it until the end of the episode, but we do need to talk about the final rankings from round 1, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The final rankings from round 1.
My picks were number 1, Stray Kids, obviously, followed by ATEEZ, SF9, Ikon, The Boyz, and B2B. Right. But I was kind of close. What honestly surprises me here is who came in 5th?
The Boyz.
No. In the actual rank.
Oh. Which actual rank? The
final ranking.
The final ranking. The Boyz? The Boyz were 5th. I guess the Boyz were 5th for views on like YouTube and stuff. YouTube and Naver and all that. They were 5th place. Let me pull it up here.
I'm pretty sure at the end there, right? They put the 4th column, which wasn't revealed until last.
That was the votes, yeah.
Oh, well, so how? Well, I don't understand then. Is that not where they fell? Like the actual
right? So
placement? I don't understand. Oh,
so
did they get scored like in 4 different ways? And so there isn't like an overall first place. It's just you get the points for this section.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I see.
So
or
you have the
whatever.
You get points for the experts evaluation. You get points for the self-evaluation. You get points for the YouTube views, and then you get points for the global voting. Okay.
Right.
For global voting, first place, I think you'll be surprised, Stray Kids.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No, I know. All right, why aren't you surprised?
Because they're Stray Kids. They're the best.
I know.
They're the best boys.
And then, why did this get pulled up this way? Sorry.
And then
I should have
SF9.
written it down. And then SF9.
And then Ikon.
Right.
And then B2B, which is surprising.
Yes.
And then
B2B scored really high.
80s. Okay, so I did say right that SF9 would make a comeback from the votes, right? Because they scored in last for what, the professional evaluation or the self-evaluation for some reason.
Yeah, self-evaluation. Yeah, they didn't get a vote. Yeah,
and I was
jealous.
I was pretty certain that they would be redeemed by the viewer votes, and I was right, because they had a really good performance. I don't understand why it didn't do so well in the other categories.
Yeah, but SF9 did well in the global vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. For round one, it was the global voting was Stray Kids number 1, SF9 number 2, Ikon number 3, B2B number 4, ATEEZ number 5, and the Boyz number 6. So this is why this is going to get all confusing for you, because there's the different ranks. If I go by YouTube views, Stray Kids number 1, hey, Ikon number 2, ATEEZ number 3, B2B number 4, the Boyz number 5, SF9 number 6. So interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not going to tell you what the overall points score is, but I think you could basically infer it.
Stray Kids number 1. That's all I care about.
Right. They are number 1 at this point for sure.
Yeah.
At least for at the end of round 1. I mean, they won the face-to-face competition. So yeah. So cool for Stray Kids. We voted a lot. We watched that YouTube video a shit ton. The kids really like watching all of the Kingdom performances that we put on for them. So, but now we're on to round 2.
Yeah.
So in this round, they had to choose teams, and they would group up with them, and basically they had to swap songs. They each had to like remake the other group song, and it started with SF9 and the Boyz, and SF9 was going to perform The Stealer. What'd you think of their performance?
It was okay. In my I think it was the best performance out of the 3.
Yes, me too. Okay, go on.
I have some concerns about it though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Some criticisms? Sure. Hit me. Let me hear it.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's that?
Which I don't know if you know the answer to, but so there's a the choreography that they put together for The Stealer is basically they're at war, like they're a gang and they're at war with another gang and they're trying to be victorious, and so it involves a lot of guns and killing, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
There is a moment or scene in this performance
I know exactly
where a knife is used, and it is blurred for some reason, while all of the guns and the shooting and the blood, the splatter effects and everything that they use, not censored. So what is it about knives in particular that deserves censorship versus the guns and all the other stuff?
And it's not even knives per se, because it's only knives up close that they censored. when later on in the choreography, the knife guy was fighting someone in a little shipping container and had his knife out, stabbed the dude. They didn't do the blur. It was only during the up close scene.
Right.
So I don't know. It could be one of those things where it's just like, Korea just has really strict censorship on their television. Like, could be that, or could be something like there was like a big fire bombing at an animation studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't blur the knives that Stray Kids used either during their performance.
They also did not blur the B2B's samurai scene.
Right? Yeah, not samurai, but
whatever.
Sword. Mm-hmm. The sword dance.
The sword dance. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Samurai's Japanese.
Yeah.
Korea, not too thrilled about Japan. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
World War II was not kind.
Right.
Yeah. So it could be just
very selective blurring.
It could just be like South Korea just being like weird about the censorship on TV, or it could be in Japan a long time ago. And actually, there was like a more recent event, but I can't remember all the details of this one. But so I'll talk about the one in the past. There was like a firebombing in an animation studio.
Yeah.
And there was an episode of this anime called Fire Force, which were like firefighters who fought fire with fire powers. Okay. And it's like a shonen anime, right? And there was supposed to be a scene in that episode where there was a building that was like blown up by a big like fire explosion thing, and they like set like after like a bunch of people got hurt and killed in this fire bombing, and they said, you know what, we're not gonna release this episode. Yeah, we're not gonna put this out. So it could be that like maybe there was some like very public thing that happened in Korea where somebody got stabbed or something, and then they were like, you know what, maybe we don't show the knife stabbing at the camera. Maybe that's a bad idea.
But
and they just blurred that one part.
Okay, so, I can totally get behind that, except for the fact that when they were showing the rehearsal stuff, he showed that very same knife up close, not blurred.
True.
So
yeah, but not in first person. Wasn't the POV. Maybe the POV is what they had a problem with.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So a knife cannot be shown.
I mean, yeah.
POV
either way, I thought it was pretty good, and like certainly better than their last performance.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they've come a long way. So yeah, I thought it was like their best performance yet.
It was good.
Doing fine.
The performance was good, and of the songs, from the playlist, not counting Stray Kids, which I don't know what the Stray Kids song is going to be.
I know,
but
I hid that from you. You'll find out tomorrow.
Anna made the playlist of the songs that you sent her, and I forgot to listen to them until 9:30 when you were like, "Did you do your homework?" And I was like, "Ah, shit." So then I listened to all the songs before we got to it, and so the Stealer was my favorite from those songs. You said that you thought Inception by ATEEZ was going to be my favorite, which it wasn't bad. I mean, it's a good song, but I don't know. The Stealer
original version.
Yeah, right. The original,
not the Ikon version.
Not the Ikon version.
Yeah.
But the Stealer, I don't know, it's good. I even hit that little heart to add it to my liked songs. Yeah.
Hey, how about that? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good song. Like, no hate. I just thought like the vibe of the Inception would jive with you because it's so like EDM heavy.
It does. Yeah, it has some EDM. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was a good performance. They, like you'd said, they did like the gangster theme. It was like noir, which also Bang Chan called out like as they were like starting. He was like, oh, it's a noir theme, and I'm like, okay, come on, like. There are a lot of words you could have used to describe the theme that they picked. How is it even possible that he pulled noir out when like that's specifically what they were going for? But he's our leader for a reason, okay?
Yeah, I mean he knows performance. Obviously,
he does clearly. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing that I didn't like about it though. The song was good, the performance was good, but the transitions were like really clunky. And
some of them were pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's the one where Chani like walks through the hallway and then he like kind of looks back at the camera and he's like, "Come on, come with me," or whatever. Like they just follow him through. Just rush through or do like a little like camera sweep and switch to another camera that's already back there to switch the scenes. Like it hung in the air for like 5-6 seconds. It was weird how long it took for them to do that that one specifically stood out to me as like just kind of like a weird long transition. And maybe it's just because like the complicated stuff and the backup dancers, they needed time to like get them arranged on the other side, and like that's why he was doing it. Like he was actually purposefully holding up the performance to let people get into place. So it would make sense, but it does feel slightly disjointed because of it. So
yeah. That's really my only complaint from that performance was just the transitions could have been smoother. But overall it was good.
Overall, I thought that this performance by SF9 felt like the most SF9 performance, and by that I just mean that like they're all like mature, they're actors, like they're all slightly older, not older than B2B, but they are able to do like things that are more adult. And like if the boys tried to like walk around shirtless and like not like they don't have good physiques or whatever, I'm sure that they work out or whatever, but it's just like they look like boys. They look like little kids. You know what I mean? Like it would be weird if they try to do like a weird, like an adult sexy drama, but SF9 can pull it off because of who they are. And I feel like in the earlier stages that they've put on, they had tried to, be something like try and harken back to like when they were like new, and they don't need to do that. They should do what they do, like a bunch of them are actors, like, so okay, do acting, that, lean into it. So and this is the performance where I feel like they did that, and it was good. I like this one. So cool, good for them.
They did do
proud of SF9.
You're old now, be sexy.
It's all right. That's how it works. Okay. We know personally.
Yeah.
The Boyz were up next, and they did "Oh Sole Mio," the Red Wedding. Oh Sole Mio, te quiero, no te tienen caso rosa.
Yeah, which our stray boo here, whose name I don't know, DMWT Rogue.
Okay.
Also, called out. Right. They're still on this fucking Game of Thrones streak. Like, get off of it already. Move on. The Boyz.
They're not going to. Like, I can't. Last week when we were recording and we had talked about this and about how like I can't believe they're still on this passe shit. So after we had finished recording and stuff, Jeanette and I were just like, is their next performance themed after that? Because we knew it was "O Sole Mio," but I was like, I don't remember anything Game of Thronesy from it. And then we pull it up and it says the Red Wedding. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe. And when we were watching it, and I verify, I heard it when we were listening the first time. And then when we watched it a second time, watched the full version of the performance, I heard it again. And so it is real. There's a part, it's the second time that they go into the bird cage, the cage to do a little dance.
The human cage.
The human cage, right? Well, but it looks like a bird cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, when they go into the cage, and the girl is like being lifted up on the little seat, the little like red seat, and he's like reaching up. It's playing the Game of Thrones theme song in the background.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that, but
yeah, it is. It's
wow.
It's literally like dun 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 in the background, and I'm like, I can't fucking believe this is happening right now. This is so ridiculous. Like, come on. It like, I don't know. It takes me so out of it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, they did some cool and interesting things. They used multiple levels. Like, I thought it was a really cool thing that they had like a second story. They had some dancing going on there, and they even like matched some choreo where they lifted up the girl, the backup dancer, to like hold her hand up or whatever, like, or maybe it was a member that did that, but regardless, like, I thought that they did some cool and interesting things, but yeah, they also had like a really cool idea where they were going to light this fire paper in a member's hand, and they was going to bring it forward and light a scepter on fire, and then for the rest, they were passing the scepter back and forth between each other as they were doing the choreo, and it was supposed to be on fire. So they light it, his hand is on fire, he brings it up, and it doesn't light the scepter. And I know why. Having watched it twice now, I know why. It's because he like slapped his hand on it, and what he should have done is held it back from it so that because when he slapped his hand on there, then the fire's not touching it. Yeah, and it goes out.
And
if he would have held
the
his
fire
hand,
is extinguished when he does that because
he slapped it right into it.
Yeah.
And that's not how fire works. It needs oxygen.
But it also needs a little bit of time, and so there were just a lot of factors there. I think the one that I noticed really is just that it happened so quick. There's really not a lot of time for it to catch,
Right. Yeah. And I mean, apparently when they were doing the rehearsal, they were able to do it. So good, but maybe they should have tried it more than once. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't work. And it probably would have been a lot cooler if they did.
Yeah.
The other thing that was like stand out to me from this is I actually really liked the way that they used the LED floor and wall when they all had bows which didn't have strings. Okay, weird. But then they like fired an arrow, and an arrow shoots along the floor and then hits the wall, and then it like extinguishes the sun, which then turns into a moon. And I also think that is a Game of Thrones reference, by the way, because it's the end of summer going to winter.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As far as the bow thing goes, I mean, like, have you ever used a bow?
Yes, of course.
Man, pulling the string back is not easy.
Is it? I'm just now thinking about this because you've said, like, have you ever used a bow? And my immediate thought was, we did archery when I was in elementary school. They brought out a few different kinds of bows, and we did archery on like a PE day or whatever, where we actually had to like shoot bows and arrows. And I'm suddenly going like, why did we do that in elementary school?
Yeah.
Why are they letting children like me fire bows and arrows?
Because it's Texas. Ridiculous. Who gives a shit?
So dangerous. Because like they had a few different types. I shot like just a regular bow, at like a recurve bow, and then I also shot a compound bow, which has like the pulleys that make it easier to draw back and get more power. Like that seems like a bad idea. I don't know. Is it a bad idea? I don't know. I just remember, but I remember doing it. We did, and they were real arrows. We're not talking like Nerf guns or anything. Like it was, I don't know. All right. Yeah. Well, yes, the answer is I have shot a bow and arrow, and it was hard, but not if you use that compound bow. Mm-hmm. That makes it easier. I mean, it's hard at first, but once you get to roll into it, then you get the full extension really easily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Latin pop and tango.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I will say I have never really been a huge fan of like Latin music like that.
Sure.
But
it's not like you spent any time in Spain. You wouldn't have been exposed to it.
Yeah. No, I've listened to my fair share of it, but I don't know. I mean, you know my musical tastes. Like
Right. No,
Latin
I know.
music isn't really part of that group. Not that I
Yeah,
hate it. I'm not saying like
Right.
I listen to a lot of different genres.
Sure.
But I definitely gravitate towards like EDM and heavy rock. Like those are my
Right.
go-to. Right. So
Yeah,
But
I thought it was fine. It's I think they did somewhat of a better job. They had like really interesting stage work. I thought the most interesting thing about their performance was like the way that they used the stage.
yeah.
Some of the things were weird. Okay, Sungwoo had his like rap break in the middle of the song, and it was just like straight up rap, and it felt so disjointed from the rest of the performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean he rolled his R really well. But other than that, I was like, all right. It took the whole thing like down
Yeah.
and like stopped the momentum. I don't know. I felt like that part was really weird. So,
yeah. But it was a good performance otherwise.
yeah.
But-
Otherwise, it was pretty good. I mean, I thought that they did good, and even the other rap parts fit well because of the music and everything. The tone was flowing well with it, but that part was so weird. It was just, I don't know.
I am really curious now. Like I just want to get Kingdom over with so that I can
Yeah.
so that I can know whether or not the boys are ever going to get the fuck off Game of Thrones.
Oh no! Well, look, if you give it enough time, we will finish Kingdom. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest. At this point, I can't see it happening. They've done 3 performances, and they've all been given like guaranteed. This is how it went before, because they won Road to Kingdom, so they had a lot of time to prepare because they knew they would be going into this Kingdom show probably longer than anybody else. And so they had enough time to sit back and go like, what if we did a theme for the whole show? What if we had like one central theme that tied everything together? And
they picked
that
Game
theme
of
was
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
no. What a mistake. Oh well.
Look,
Yeah.
and it's not that I hate Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is an amazing show.
Yeah.
But just like move on. Do
Right.
one Game of Thrones thing. That's enough.
Show us something different, please. Please. I mean, they had a whole segment where they like met with the other groups from Road to Kingdom. They met with members from those groups, and those members were like, I think you're doing fine. Just like, be yourself. And that's what they're going to do. So I guess who they are at the core of their persons are extremely huge Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so bizarre.
Oh,
But the
wow.
last performance we had of the night was Ikon
Performing
performing
Inception.
Inception by ATEEZ.
Yeah.
And yeah, why don't you tell me what you thought of this performance? I'm curious what you think of it.
There's really only one major criticism that I put in my notes.
Oh, really? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't think that it was a terrible performance. I mean, it wasn't like mind blowing. I made a single note, yeah. And so it's not very memorable. They made it. I don't know if the original song is supposed to tie into or like relate or reference the movie Inception, but that's how Ikon, made their performance. It was
Right.
like a reference to the movie, which I thought they did a really good job of doing that, especially the spinning top at the end, right? Like that was a good,
Yeah, the spinning top was a good touch. I
very
like that.
nice touch. Okay. I'm sure Bobby's a great person.
Yes. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like I feel like Bobby is sacrificing what the performance could be just to like have fun. He's I appreciate that he wants to have fun and he looks like he's having fun, but I think that's a detriment to the rest of the performance that everyone else is trying to do.
He like stopped rapping partway through the rap and like he just like didn't do it. He just didn't sing along. He just let the backing track play again.
Yeah.
Every time that he was like on the screen, I was like, oh my God, like do better. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be like the guy, the rap guy that everybody likes. You won Show Me the Money. Like what is happening? Did he win Show Me the Money by doing this, by doing nothing, but like recording a backing track one time and then being like, all right, I'm smiling. Like,
right.
Is that how he won?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. I just, I feel like what is the right way? Everything that he's doing, I think works great in a live performance. If he were in front of fans, doing that would make so much sense. It would be fun. It would be entertaining. No one would give a shit, especially with a backing track to like take over for him when he's like out of breath and trying to interact with the fans. But that's not the case. He's not performing live in front of 100%. Fans. He's being recorded for a competition, and he should change his attitude for that.
Yeah. I feel bad because I feel like so many of the other members in Ikon, as far as their performance goes, did really well. Their voices sounded good. They did a good job of like how they reconstructed the refrain. Like it was all good from a performance perspective. But Bobby was just he treated it like it was a live show, and like there was just an audience there that he was trying to get to like scream along with him because he was having a great time. And I'm just like, if you weren't like, they must have known. They did so many rehearsals. They must have known that this is how it was going to go. Like this was on purpose, that they were like, they saw this and go, yep, this is great. This is Bobby did excellent. This is exactly how we want Bobby to perform. Like, is that what happened? Or did they get to the day of, and then he did that, and then afterwards they have to, in front of the cameras, be like, we did great, everybody's happy, and then be like, what the fuck were you doing? I don't know, because everybody else was pretty much on point. Like nobody had any of those kinds of flaws with their singing, and with actually vocalizing anything, whether it's rap or actual singing. Like everybody else did fine. They hit every beat. I don't understand, like, what the fuck? I don't know why that's his deal. Is like Bobby's whole role in the show is to like mess up Ikon's performance. I don't know. I find it so frustrating because I do find him like somewhat endearing as a person. I like that. I like his character. Like when they're in the behind the scenes stuff, he makes good suggestions. But what are you doing?
Yeah.
Which was not my only problem I had with their performance.
Okay. Well, that is my single note on that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Their set looks like shit. It's the worst set. I know it's elaborate, but like they had like two walls that slid, and they just looked like sliding walls. Like they were trying to make it look like Inception, and it just looked like a fucking wall, and then it just opened up with a hinge and a person was on the other side. And I'm like, that doesn't happen in Inception, and it just looks like a set. Like it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like the camera work was awful on all the walls. Also, Jay was practicing. They showed him practice over and over and over this move where he gets like pulled back into this like 1/2 foot deep space, which is not far enough, by the way, to get the the effect if the camera lingers, which it did. And the whole point that they made during that segment was he has to get his foot up to get it into the shot so it looks like he's falling back, and he fucking didn't. It barely, the tip of his toe barely crested into the shot, and then it was gone. And I'm like, you fucking, this was the, like, if they hadn't spent like 2 minutes showing him doing this move and saying it's really important that I get my foot in the shot so it looks like I'm falling backwards, and then he didn't do it, I'm like, come on. Like, they're like, it's extra bad for me because I didn't like this performance the last year when I watched it live. And I thought I went into it today just going like, I'm gonna have an open mind. Like, there are lots of other groups that I've liked their performances more this time around, so I'm just gonna open my mind and I'm just gonna enjoy it. And I was just like, God damn it sucks. God, like, why? Jesus. Yeah, every part of that. Okay, and I'm not even done talking about the set. Okay, the fucking street that lifts up. Okay, it looks like garbage, and the lines aren't made, like, they didn't make the lines where they lift up at the bottom. They could have adjusted them, like made them kind of curve out a little bit so that when it was done lifting up and it was perpendicular, that it would still connect with the lines that kind of went down towards the ground. But they didn't, and so the lines just didn't line up. It just looked like a thing. It just looked like a prop, and like, it's extra frustrating coming right after the Boyz doing O Sole Mio, because they made really good use of the LED screens because they're all over the studio, and they could have just used LEDs and CGI rather than having these like shitty practical effects. They could have had like cool scenes using the LEDs to like bend the world. And instead they were like, hey, what if we put a filter on Bobby while he doesn't sing? Like, God damn it. It's frustrating because I know that like Changbin and Han and Bangchan, they have a ton of respect for Ikon. Like, a ton of respect. And so does everybody else. Like, everyone voted for them as like, we all think that Ikon is going to be the group to beat in Kingdom. That's how they came into the show. Everybody's got respect for them, and this is what they put on. I'm so frustrated because I want to see them do better. And I guess we'll find out if ever we see that in the future. Will we? Will they ever do better? I don't know. At least Bobby has a baby now, you know, like I can always lean back on that. He's got a wife and a baby. So I guess his life is good, and he's probably having fun and relaxing because that's what he was doing on stage. Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a breath. It's too hard. You know what I mean? Does it make sense?
I agree completely.
All right. I'm frustrated with it. I'm so I'm trying to hydrate. I have a little bit of iced tea.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're watching it, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, it's like worse than I remember. It's like I paid closer attention, and it got worse every moment. So I don't know. It sucks. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you know, every member but Bobby actually sang well. That doesn't mean they performed well or had a good set, which is everything, or had good camera angles. So it's the community theater version of Inception. Exactly. Yeah,
with a $4,000 budget, not a $4 million budget.
Right. What the fuck? What did they do with that money? Did they send it all to their former leader to buy weed? Is that what happened here? Like, what the hell? I don't know.
Or maybe they donated it to or spent it on Bobby's baby shower.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, I think that'd be worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You gotta afford those New Balances somehow, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they're idols, so they would probably get New Balances for free. If New Balance could sponsor a K-pop idol, they would do it in a heartbeat. You know?
Yeah.
Ah, man, what a crazy performance. Yeah. All right. I'm glad I got that out because I was holding it in because I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to give anything away, and I'm glad that at least in some respects you do agree that it was that bad, because I'm just like I can't. Why was it so bad? I mean, like, I don't know. Again, like there are parts I kind of like. I don't know. I don't want to hate it more, because I'm just like, I kind of like the refrain where they like slow it down and do a more Ikon version of it. It's good, but like the choreo that they do for that part where they like spin their fingers is so basic. And I'm like, and it's because they said it during their like behind the scenes thing that they changed the choreo for that part like several times. So of course it's going to be more basic. They didn't have time to like work on it, like workshop it to sharpen it. They instead just, I don't know. It's just anyway.
Yeah, it was not. It was not a good performance, and I wish. I hope that we see better from them in the future. Yeah, you know, but I do not, and time will tell.
Yeah, I know. I already know.
There's two things that I need from the rest of this show. I need the boys to get the fuck off Game of Thrones, and I need Ikon to start acting like they're on a competition instead of at a live performance.
Yeah, okay. I think those are Tom's 2 rules for Kingdom going forward, and we're gonna track that as we continue watching episodes. Well, let's find out. Will it happen? I mean, we're not gonna find out next episode because we have 3 different artists that we're going to be hearing from.
I also need SF9 to never sing Good Guy, so I hope that is.
Oh, you said it. You know I'm gonna have to insert it.
Now, right? My god! Damn it! Okay.
I wasn't gonna say it in this episode. I was like, I'll hold off. That joke's good, but like, I'm not gonna make it in every episode, so I won't say it. But you said it. I gotta do it. Like, what do I gotta do? You know?
Is it gonna be the new JYP?
It's God. Have you listened to that episode again?
No, I have not.
That's one of our first episodes.
I don't want to. The problem with the JYP episode is that there's no maybe you need to go back and add like a thing like, here's what's going to happen in this episode, because anyone new coming in and like going through is going to get to that episode and be like, what the fuck is going on? Because there's no explanation.
And maybe I'll explain now. This is the explanation for our episode. I think it was episode 1 of the survival show when we were watching that. We were talking about JYP, and I inserted the JYP whisper every time one of us said JYP, whether we were doing the whisper or just talking about the show. So, and I've had multiple people that I know like tell me, like, they're listening to it for the first time and they're like, I keep hearing something. There's something like weird happening. Yeah, it's the second episode.
Is it the second episode?
I think so. I think it is. But like every time that we say JYP, I insert it, and I timed it. Like I was using Audacity to do it, and so like every time there was we said JYP, the words JYP, I just literally highlighted it, put a label, and then I just dropped in the sound clip every single time. And so we're just like JYP, and every time behind it is a little whisper of JYP. And most of them were so well timed that it just sounds like a weird echo in the background.
It sounds like a little bit of static.
Yeah.
For a brief for a brief period of time, and then you're like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's pretty awesome. I don't know. That's one of my favorite jokes, and it's like one of the first joke edits I ever did. So there you go.
You can really, if you go back, like if you are starting here on episode, what is this, 54?
54. Yeah. 54.
And then you go back, you can listen to the journey that we've made in having never recorded anything ever, and then just being like, we're going to record a podcast and start publishing it online immediately.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You just got to put it out there.
You just got to put it out there.
And then one day you'll post about it on TikTok, and suddenly you'll that TikTok will have 12,000 views.
Yeah.
Oh, imposter syndrome. Anyway. Yeah, Tom, you got to go to bed soon. So,
I got to go to bed 2 hours ago.
Oh, well, on our next episode, we will finally get to hear from Stray Kids, ATs, B2B, and see what they're all up to. Yeah, it's going to be good. Stray Kids, woo!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm here. I am wrapping up the episode, and I forgot to mention that there was a point when they were talking about the results of the previous episode. Like they were like back when they were like picking who was going to be paired with who, and when Stray Kids picked B2B, Unkwang stood up and was like, "Stray Kids, who?"
Yeah,
which I loved.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, but yeah, Stray Kids, big fans of B2B.
Here's what. Okay, you think I should make a prediction? My ranking
for this round.
How I'm gonna feel about all of the performances combined.
100%. Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
So we have AT's, B2B, and Stray Kids left, right?
That's right.
Okay, so my ranking will be number 1, Stray Kids.
Okay.
Number 2, AT's.
Okay.
Number 3, SF9.
Okay.
Number 4, The Boyz. Number 5, B2B. Number 6, Ikon.
Okay. Wow. All right. Well, those are some predictions. We'll find out how you feel about it after you actually watch their performances. You get to watch them tomorrow, but for the listeners on the podcast, you'll hear about it next week. I mean, you could watch it right now, but you'll hear about it next week.
You won't get to hear my thoughts until...
Which is truly the most important part, right? I mean...
That's why we're
What
here.
does Tom think? What does Tom think, okay?
I mean,
what does he think about it?
That's literally what we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
That's like the premise of the podcast,
right?
Yeah. You know what? There were a couple of scenes with our boys in it, but not many in this episode. It made me feel a little sad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're watching another one tomorrow, because otherwise, I would just feel so alone. You know, just feel like. We're just watching other boys. You know? It's just weird.
I don't want to see other boys.
Boys. Yeah, I don't want to see other boys. I want to see our boys. Ugh!
Yeah. This isn't part of the poly situation, okay? We're monogamous toward the boys.
Oh no. All right. Okay. Well, that's how we're going to end this episode then. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. If you want to check out all of our links and socials and everything, go to linktr.ee/makeastay and come along.
Yeah. Stray Kids,
everybody.
Woo.
Stray Kids, woo. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.